What's up, everybody? OMB. Hey, look, man. I know that some people they have this depiction of New Yorkers. I did more than one video about this, and the reason why is because I want people to know that not everybody. I think damn near everybody. I ain't even gonna lie. You know what I'm saying. So I can't say almost everybody I bumped into did this type of stuff once they found out I was from New York. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny how the conversation changes. So this is a typical conversation. You know, if somebody talking to you, they'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And let's say we watching something go on out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there was an accident or something, and we all just standing out there watching. This is hypothetical right here. I'm telling you about, it. But it's right on. It's right on point. And then I'll give you a real example. Let's say we see this accident and the person starts talking to me and then they start asking me questions like or they might make a comment like, "Hey, that looks real serious." I'm like, "Yeah, man, it appears to be, and then they'll be like, "Hey," they pick up on the accent. "Hey, where you from?" Well, I live in Florida, but I'm from Bronx, New York. You know what I'm saying? They're like, "Oh yeah, I could tell by the accent." And then all of a sudden they start talking about bad stuff or somebody in their neighborhood who was a tough guy or somebody crazy in their family and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, then we started off talking about the accident, how we get here. You know what I'm saying? So throughout the years, that's been going on with damn near everybody I bumped into, except for New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? Because, we don't need to talk about all of that. You know what I'm saying? We know the deal. But anyway, here's a real situation. I'm in Kentucky. I'm getting my hair cut. So I'm getting the edge. That's when I had my little beard thing going on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting a little edge up. And the barber, he's having a conversation, and I'm just sitting in the chair enjoying the cut. And then they asked me a question. And I forget what the question was about, but after I asked the question, all of a sudden, the barber starts talking about other things like, something that happened with somebody around where he had to go get his burner, this, that, and the third, and yada yada yada. So the other dude who knew him was like, "Yo, man, what you talking about, man?" He said, "Yo, you ain't got to act like that." He said, "Yo, you ain't even like that, man. Why you even talking like that?" He was pulling his card, and I'm like, this is like something that's common. It didn't happen for so many years that I'm like used to it. I'm just used to it. I expect it. And I kind of learned how to sway the conversation a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like get right off that subject, and then they kind of like have no interest in talking no more. I'm like, all right. So you want to talk about that negative stuff and this tough guy stuff? I ain't even look. Let me tell y'all something. Here's another thing that people say also. Well, you don't talk or act like any New Yorker I know. Well, or their cousin or whoever. And I'm like, yo, I got a question. Are you from New York? Have you ever lived in New York? Or have you just interacted with New Yorkers who came your way in your state? It's always the latter. They never lived there. So therefore, you wouldn't know what New Yorkers talk like. You haven't met all kinds of New Yorkers. All New Yorkers don't be a, "Yo, what's up, Pa?" You know what I'm saying? All New Yorkers don't talk like that. All right, there's some New Yorkers who've been in New York all their life, and they call them Valley people. Or Valley girls and Valley boys. They sound like white folks. Been in New York all their lives. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even know. They could be dark as you and I, but when they open up their mouth, they sound like Caucasians. And you wouldn't know where the hell they from, but they from New York. So you know what I'm saying? So when I talk to people, it's like, when they say things, I'm looking at them like, okay, all right. And a lot of the times it's this bad depiction they got of New Yorkers, and I'm looking at them like, yo, all of us ain't like that. Yeah, we grew up in tough times. If you grew up in the era that I grew up there, and the time that I grew up there was tough. But We don't. All of us don't wear that on our sleeve. I left that in New York. Let it stay there. You know what I'm saying? Come on, stop it. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I find myself by myself because there's always this narrative for people who want to talk about tough stuff, and I'm looking at them like, yo, come on, man, stop that. I don't care nothing about that. I don't move like that. I don't think like that. They ain't how I run my life, thinking about tough guy stuff or bad stuff or something that happened to somebody back in the day. No, that ain't what I roll. That ain't how I roll. That ain't how you stay positive. That's how you stay stuck in the past. Come on, man. You ain't got time for that. So this is just a message for people who haven't met a New Yorker. Just know that all of us ain't what you see on TV or what you've met or your family member. OMB signing out. Peace.